Hi, it's me, Colton Johnson. Sorry for the crooked glasses. I have a crooked head. Deal with it. Hi. Uh, Hello. I was kind of jumping back and looking at videos from me about 10 years plus ago from the channel that I had as a teenager. Well, I mean, I had it since I was like 10 or 11. And I was like, might as well make a video. Sorry, the light is being funky. 1 second. Alright, that's slightly better. Sorry for the jump. Okay, first things first. What have I been doing the last 10 years? Well, if you don't know me, then you probably don't know what I've been up to. So let's start from 2016 and I'll take you back to 2026. 10-year jump, People are being like, oh, 2026, celebrating the past and living in the future. Where was I in 2026? Well, I lived in southern Utah. I was in high school. I think I was in my sophomore year and junior year of high school. Like, that's kind of where I was, that time frame of things. I did theater. I still liked movies. I did choir. I played piano a little bit. I had a good subset of friends. Some of those friends I still talk to, more or less of. There's maybe 2 or 3 out of ever many friends that I had back then. Compared to now, I have many new friends. And yeah. So 2016 was a time. In those times, 2014 is actually sort of when I took over and started to do my own thing when it came to doing YouTube. I did dabble with YouTube. I had a webcam and I was just me. I'm still me. I don't get into what I do now, but it's crazy to look back at a time where I just wasn't aware of what the world was. I wasn't aware of just life. I was, but not in the way that I am now, 10 years down the line. But it's just crazy how life just throws you through different experiences, different memories. You get to meet so many different people. So that's just kind of where I'll get to where I'm going. So 2016, that's the year I got my driver's license. I kind of slacked off a little bit, and due to other personal things and stuff, I kind of delayed that and didn't end up getting my license until I was 17 years old. I just had my own setbacks, and then I eventually got my license. I was 17 when I got my license. I honestly didn't date much in high school. I went on dates with plenty of people. I went to all the school dances, and I just had a good amount of friends and hung out with a good group of friends. Some of those friends I still talk to. 2016 was a good year for movies. I remember The Jungle Book that came out 10 years ago. That's crazy. La La Land, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Pretty good movies. La La Land. Did I say La La Land? I don't know. Pretty good movies. So that was 2016. Moving on to 2017. That year is honestly a blur. I don't remember much. My junior year it was good, but it was also rough. Going to a school that primarily did theater, junior year was a year that I don't know, it was like a down on my luck kind of year. I auditioned for as much as I could, and I think the only thing that I did was like smaller theater based things and the big school musical of the year, which was Little Shop, which that's a fun one. I really enjoyed doing that. But I didn't get into much. I did choir, which was fun. Actually, that was probably the peak year of my choir experience. I was in men's choir and then I think we called it like festival choir, something like that. And that was a really good experience for me. But in regards to the rest of my junior year, it was rough and down on my luck. Just did the best that I could, you know. Movies 2017, man, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was phenomenal. Great movie. I don't know why I'm talking about movies. This is not my movie channel. I'll get into that in a second. Anyways, 2017 finished my senior or junior year. I worked a job. Actually, I started this job in 2016. I worked at, if you're familiar with St. George, it's called Cliffside Restaurant. I worked there throughout most of my high school time. I was a busboy and good experience, and I did that throughout all of high school. Great time. I'm in my senior year. Moving into my senior year, I feel like it was just a weird time for me because there was just big changes that I knew. I was about to turn 18 years old. Big decisions that I needed to make for my future after graduating high school and things like that, that I didn't know what I was going to do. But then eventually I was like, I know what I need to do. And I figured all that. My senior year, pretty good year, gotta say that. I did a lot of fun things. One of the standout things I remember doing was we did a play, and I was an assistant director in that play, which that was a really fun time, good experience for me. And it kind of made me take a look back of do I want to do theater? Do I want to do acting? And that's kind of where I was like, no. I mean, I like being behind the camera. I like doing all this stuff. But I don't, it's not for me. Maybe I'll do community theater, but I'll get into that later. But my senior year is kind of where my focus was what am I going to do next? What's my next big thing? And yeah, and so as we move into 2018, which probably one of the bigger years of my life, I graduated high school. I was able to come to the decision, I'm going to go serve a mission. So that's what I did. I served a mission. First I graduated high school. I did a lot of cool other things. I did High School Musical. That was one of my last shows I did in high school, which was a lot of fun. And then, yeah, I got a mission call to serve in Hawaii. And that was another big time in my life. I've been wanting to kind of do a retrospective of my time serving as a missionary in one of the best places of the world, but I just haven't gone around to it. I've had other focuses, but that time of my life was one of the biggest growth periods of my life. Not only in a spiritual aspect, but I was able to I went from boy to man, It kind of made me think of the part from Tarzan where he goes literally from boy to man. And that was a time that I was able to grow up. I was able to understand the world. It put me somewhere that I didn't anticipate ever going and broadened my perspective on different people and cultures and perspectives that I was able to build that understanding and that care and compassion for other people. that it still impacts me 5+ years later from being home from my mission. And that was one of the greatest aspects that I got out of that. But it also taught me how to be a man, how to respect others, how to love others, and just be responsible overall. One of the things that happened on my mission that I still reflect about now is I had an appendectomy. My appendix was inflamed and I had appendicitis and I needed to get it removed. That was pretty crazy. One of the craziest things, one of my big flexes, being like, oh, I got my appendix removed in Hawaii on my mission. And pretty cool experience. And then later, the pandemic happened, COVID. That happened while I was on a mission, and that threw things through the ring. It was crazy, but yeah. I get home from my mission, and I'm like, all right, what am I going to do next? Am I going to go to school? I'm probably going to date, things like that. So I get home, and 2 months later, I met the love of my life on a blind date. Crazy enough. It all happenstance, happened the way it did. But I look back and I'm just grateful for like the past 5 years of my life, just noticing just different growth. But my wife, now she's my wife, is incredible. She's the greatest human being on this planet. She does amazing things. She's just my biggest support, my biggest fan, and I love her a lot. She is just incredible, and words can't describe just how just spectacular she is. And I'll get more into that in a second. But I met her, and it's one of those things. I know it's cheesy, and I know it's in all those rom-coms, but like I was once told, if you know that somebody is the person that you're going to want to be with for the rest of your life, you'll know. You'll feel it right here. And that thought process was like, I went on a few dates before I met her, and I was like, and I go on this date with her. Long story short, she does this crazy move in mini golf. I know. And I was struck. I was like, I'm going to marry this girl. I'm going to start a family. I'm going to be with her and love her and take care of her. And there was a lot of moments when we started dating that gave me that reassurance. There was times where I had to step up and take care of her. She was in college and away from family, and she got sick, pretty sick, and I had to step up and be that support for her and help her. And it was a very growing experience for both of us, and it very much strengthened the relationship that we had with each other. And there's moments now that we look back and we are grateful for that growth. We did later get engaged and then eventually married in the Brigham City Temple. And fell in love. We went to school. So I started school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to actually go into filmmaking, things like that. But there wasn't a direct program that I wanted to directly do. And then I took a communications class and was like, hey, I think this is what I want to do. So I did one semester at Southern Utah University, and I was like, I don't think traditional school's for me. It's just, I'm not getting what I want out of it. Eventually, I moved on to more of an online school through Ensign College. And I was like, you know what? I want to go into communications. I love doing videography. I like doing graphic design. I like doing that. And so I wonder if there's a way that I can do communications in a more visual, media-based environment. And so that's kind of where it got me to line up with being a videographer, doing those things and doing YouTube and whatever. I mean, I haven't hit the fame that I wanted to, but during that time, I kind of jumped back into doing YouTube, and I created my YouTube channel, which is Empty Popcorn Bucket Productions. This because I love movies. Movies is I love movies. If you know me, I love movies, and I was like, what if I just do movie reviews? And it started up slow, but then it built up and built up and built up, and it became a consistent thing that I made reviews for most of the movies that I'd seen, and I was at a good moment in my life, and then something very hard happened in my life. So 2.5 years ago, I lost my mom, and it was probably one of the hardest things that that's ever been thrown at me. I love my mom. She was one of my biggest supports and one of my greatest examples. Yes, there was moments that could have had work, but she's my mom and did everything she could for the betterment of me and my siblings and my family, and she did her best. But due to health issues that she wasn't able to fully conquer, she passed away, and it's something that I don't try to suppress it, but it's something that I've learned to cope with and recognize the strength that I learned from my mom. And it's not a setback, but it pushes me forward to reflect the greatness that she did give out into the world. She served others, she loved others, and she did her best despite her challenges. She suffered with health issues for nearly half my childhood. And to know that she's no longer suffering gave me great comfort. But it was a time in my life that was hard. But I was grateful because I had my wife there to support me. And we had something else that we were looking forward to, which was starting a family. We moved up to northern Utah and we started a family, or wanted to start a family. And then eventually we found out that my wife was pregnant, and it was very exciting. And then we welcomed our daughter into the world, which I love her with all my heart. She is crazy. She is just so awesome. And I love her. And then eventually I was able to finish school. I still did my YouTube stuff. And throughout all this time, I actually, several years ago, 4 years ago to be exact, I started a job as an RBT. If you're not familiar with that, that's just someone who works with children with autism and provide ABA services. It's been a wonderful experience for me that I've cherished a lot, and I've grown a lot, and it's very fulfilling. I won't go into too much detail because I'm dumping my last 10 years on y'all. But then last year, at the end of last year, I graduated with my bachelor's in communications, and I hope to do exciting things and see where my future lies. And then we also welcomed my first son, and he's now 3 months. I love him. He's cute. He's actually a miniature version of me, which is awesome. I mean, my daughter, I feel like, has a lot of my wife's personality, which is cute. But yeah, that was just my life in a nutshell in the last 10 years. I'm sorry if you had to listen to me ramble on for the last 20 minutes, but yeah. So what's next? Am I going to post to this channel? Probably not. Am I going to I might share this to, no, I probably won't. But yeah, thank you for watching. And go check out my other channel, Empty Popcorn Bucket Productions. That's where I do movie reviews. I do other stuff on there as well, but that's mainly what I do. So to end it off, I'm just going to whip out my old guitar and just say goodbye. This guitar hasn't been tuned in probably 3 years. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna continue. I'm not gonna have you suffer through that because I know. I don't know how to play guitar. This was actually I gifted to my brother and he lives in Australia, but that's besides the point. Thank you for watching. If you liked this story of my life, then cool. But I'm probably not going to make videos on this channel. So go check out my other channel or my other channel, which I want to revitalize. I won't go into that today. But go check out Empty Popcorn Bucket Productions. I will link it down in the description below. Thank you. And you can like the video. That's cool. Share it with your friends and have a wonderful day. Bye.